parliament and annexed the country as the 14th province of Ethiopia. This act, of course, made Eritrea completely disappear from the world map. Again, the UN committed another grave mistake by tacitly allowing Ethiopia to swallow Eritrea. No measures were taken against the culprit, but on the contrary, the big powers did collaborate with Ethiopia in annexing Eritrea, and in fact, it was their own agenda of their geopolitical strategy and not that of Ethiopia, because Ethiopia during that time, again in the words of my president, I quote, "It's because the Ethiopian authorities of the day lacked the potential to meet the assumed criteria like the European powers," unquote. The consequence was, as I mentioned earlier, none other but plummeting the peoples of the two countries into a very long and destructive war. The sad and wrong decisions and the mischievous acts sparked the Eritrean armed struggle for independence. A 30 years bloody armed struggle that culminated in the liberation of Eritrea in 1991. It is considered by many historians as Africa's longest and bloodiest struggle for freedom of the 20th century. We must not forget that because of the unjust suppression of the Eritrean people, many Ethiopians, both individuals and organizations, including the front of the late Prime Minister Meles Zenawi, the EPRDF, or the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, the one in power in the present regime of Ethiopia, while fighting for their own liberation, collaborated with us against both Emperor Haile Selassie's and Colonel Mengistu's regimes by supporting the Eritrean struggle for independence. This is just a recent history of yesterday. Following this historical event, a UN-sponsored referendum was conducted, again fully supported by Ethiopia, during which Eritreans over 99% voted yes for independence, and hence a sovereign Eritrea was declared on May 24, 1993. That is how Eritrea came back on the African map for the second time. I now want a clap. For those of us who have been colonized by big or by proxy by small powers, we all understand how costly freedom is. Like many people who fought for freedom, we Eritreans too did not get it on a silver platter, but by paying heavy price of blood and sweat. I think this might be the reason that when you have it, I mean the freedom, though very difficult to nurture and sustain or transform it to a genuine political and economic freedom, merely remembering and celebrating the day is so sweet and so great, the sweetest and the greatest of all other days that are celebrated for one reason or another. Dear guests of honor, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as you may know, we have been struggling for the past 22 years to put in place a strong foundation for nation building, both economically and politically. The Eritrean government, since the achievement of independence, has been pursuing a clear stand based on a policy of equality, mutual respect, reciprocity, and partnership towards fostering economic cooperation, attracting investment, as well as developing trade, cultural, and other ties. Besides, concrete action was taken by Eritrea towards promoting regional peace and stability, ensuring security and development. For example, we are one of the founders of IGAD that transformed the former IGAD with two Ds into the new IGAD with one D. We are also a member of COMESA and, of course, many other international organizations that enabled Eritrea to be a very peaceful and dignified member state of the international community. The successful and coordinated endeavors carried out in unison of the people and the government have seen Eritrea emerge as a strong nation that registered achievements in all sectors. Dear honorable guests, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as regards the road that we have traveled so far towards nation building, though we do not claim to have fully accomplished the task of laying the foundations of a sovereign and free Eritrea, considering the time and challenges encountered, as well as the limited resources at our disposal, it is nonetheless indisputable that we have managed to achieve far-reaching achievements. Provided we continue our forward march with added fervor and enthusiasm, as well as the rich experience we have so far acquired it would not have been difficult to discern that we would be in a position to accomplish still more gratifying outcome in the years ahead. However, as Eritrea is truly on the eve of a promising future, we understood from the onset that it was not and is not a smooth road. We are not being left alone to march on our way. Since almost our birth, we have faced tremendous man-made challenges and obstacles, including invasions and conspiracies of the cruelest kinds. The greatest portion of the past 20 years witnessed a wave of conspiracies against us. One of the main manifestations of these impediments is the continued occupation of our sovereign territories for the past 15 years by the Ethiopian regime. This act has occurred in flagrant breach of the final and binding arbitral verdict passed by the Eritrea-Ethiopia Border Commission and in contravention of the international law. The Eritrea-Ethiopia Border Commission delivered its decision on the limitation and the border between Eritrea and Ethiopia in 2002. The various ploys that were unleashed in the past 15 years to derail the judicial process and decision of the EEBC, that is the Eritrea-Ethiopia Border Commission, and nullify or render the award meaningless are fresh in the memories of all those who have been following the events closely. The numerous military, economic, political, and diplomatic acts perpetrated against us to divert our attention and dampen our resolve remain imprinted in our collective memory. These unremitting hostilities and acts of subversion have not, however, kept us hostage. Our defense and the implementation of our programs to peace and development have continued without let up, always hoping for justice and peace. As we celebrate the 22nd anniversary of Independence Day, it is quite in order to underline that nobody stands to be misled by the cheap propaganda ploys and the accusations employed by certain quarters that have been engaging in persistent, futile attempts to derail us from the path of peace and development. Moreover, our staunch resistance to continued military, political, and economic conspiracy, and the fact that our people's forward march to a bright future remains on course, coupled with our robust national resolve, would certainly deal a stunning blow to any and all conspiracies designed to derail us from the path, again, of peace and development and prosperity. Last but not least, as has been described, Eritrea has experienced from the past 2 decades that the road to genuine freedom is so rough that we have to always be very vigilant to nurture and sustain it, and I hope sincerely to work together with our neighbors, be they immediate or afar, for peace and stability. The only proven way to development, peace and prosperity, and hence genuine freedom. As I come towards the end of my speech, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I call upon our guest of honor, Governor Kidero, to say hopefully some nice words about our freedom, allow me to make some remarks about Kenya. First and foremost, I would like to welcome, because I have so many Kenyan friends here. First and foremost, I would like to welcome Your Excellency and all Kenyan friends. And we Eritreans are indeed honored to have you as our chief guest on our Day of Independence. We shall look forward to your message, sir. Honorable Chair, please permit me, honorable guests, please permit me, on behalf of my government and the very peaceful and industrious Eritreans living here in Kenya, and on my own behalf, congratulate you and through you the government and people of Kenya on your successful, free and fair election of March 4 with a very large and impressive voter turnout, and the fact that it was very peaceful with all its legal and judicial process and outcome accepted by all, namely contenders, winners, losers, and all the people of this great nation, shows the measure of the very high maturity and level of political consciousness of the Kenyan people and the government. Indeed, exemplary and a great model for the rest of us all. Your Honor, I again, on behalf of my government and my people here in Kenya, wish you all the best as your government is just putting on the first gear of the 5 years road to march forward with the Kenyan people. In honor, as I, as the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of my country, I am like that. I've been working earnestly and diligently to foster the already good relationship for our two sisterly countries, and I promise to work harder to promote and upgrade this relationship to a higher level. Allow me now, our honorable chief guest, to propose a toast to the friendship between the peoples of Eritrea and Kenya, and to the health of both of our presidents, President Isaias Afwerki and President Uhuru Kenyatta. Cheers. Glory to our martyrs. Glory to all martyrs of Africa, freedom fighters, because we just celebrated Africa Day, Africa Jubilee Day. Long live all the independence days. Long live the fraternal relationship of Eritrea and Kenya. Thank you. Honorable Governor. First test. May I now call upon our chief guest, Governor Kidero, to say some few words about our Independence Day.
His Excellency, the Ambassador of the great people of Eritrea, Excellency, Director General, UNON, Excellency Ambassadors, diplomats, High Commissioners, Cabinet Secretaries who are present here, the people of Eritrea who are celebrating this great day, my fellow Kenyans who are here. I will say very, very few words because, as His Excellency the Ambassador said, he has a cold, so he's not allowed to drink. But I believe the guests are looking forward to their drinks, so I won't unduly keep them away from their glasses and what they are likely to enjoy. First of all, let me say on my own behalf, on behalf of the people of Nairobi, and on behalf of the people of Kenya, to congratulate you and your country for great 22 years of independence. We know what it is. We've been at it for the last 50 years. And it did not come easy, just as much. It did not come easy for the people of Eritrea. We admire the struggle, and we admire what you've been able to do within the last 22 years since you got freedom. And we wish and hope that you'll have many, many more years of peace, many, many more years of freedom as you've had in the last 22 years. Kenya and Eritrea has had very good relations, and we wish this to continue. And as being the chief ambassador myself of Nairobi and of Kenya, I always talk about trade. I was looking at my statistics today, and I saw that the trade between Eritrea and Kenya, every Eritrean consumes only $1 per year of Kenyan products. We would like this to be 10, so that it moves from a trade of $4.5 million per year, and initially to $45 to $50 million per year. And we would wish to replace Canada, which is your major trading partner, and EU as your major trading partner. And there are a number of reasons. It's because, as I've said in the past, Kenyans are the nicest people because God lives here when he moved from the Garden of Eden. Of course, the second thing is Kenya's proximity to Eritrea is just up the road. We can actually get up on foot. Last but not least, Kenya is a peace-loving, Your Excellency, and you did allude to it in your speech. We had very, very peaceful elections, and I believe there are a number of lessons, even as your country matures in the 22 years of freedom, that some of the lessons that we've gone through, we are on the 11th, we have our 11th parliament, election after the last 10 parliaments, and we had a very, very peaceful elections, free elections, and given the fact at times people do not accept, even if they've fairly lost, but the mature judicial system that we have in this country was not far to step in and prove who actually won. Your Excellency, peace is the regional peace, especially the Horn of Africa, is important for the economic emancipation and economic performance of not only the Horn of Africa, but East Africa as a whole. So Kenya is committed to see that peace prevails and true peace is maintained in the Horn of Africa, because only by having true peace in the Horn of Africa can Kenya be able to attain its goals. We are looking to a double-digit growth in this coming year, and we are quite aware that this can only be possible if we have peace and if we have love. Your Excellency, as you did indicate in your speech that we come a long way, but we even have further to go. So in conclusion, let me say that Kenyans will be good brothers to the people of Eritrea. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
We kept you waiting. There was, a little bit of speech. Now there will be a big bit of bite. We have good Eritrean food. We have good Kenyan food. There is the Safari Park Hotel here. We have also our different types of foods and drinks. Please enjoy. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So please enjoy. We have plenty for you as we enjoy. This side, we have the Eritrean traditional food. Please don't miss it.